I've never really believed in anything supernatural. Honestly, I'm still not sure that I do. But there's one thing I haven't been able to explain for almost a year now, and that's why I decided to write about it. Maybe someone has experienced something similar. Maybe someone can come up with an explanation that I couldn't. It all started after my grandmother passed away. I'm 29 years old. I live in Pennsylvania, and my grandmother had lived in the same house for over 40 years. After the funeral, my mother, my sister, a few relatives, and I helped sort through her belongings. The house was packed with boxes, old documents, books, letters, VHS tapes, photo albums. I've always loved old photographs, so I spent most of the time sitting on the living room floor, going through album after album. The first photo seemed completely ordinary. Christmas. I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. My mum was holding me next to the Christmas tree. My grandfather was sitting in his armchair. My father was standing nearby. And there was a man standing in the corner of the room. At first, I didn't think much of it. Family photos are always full of neighbors, family friends, or distant relatives that nobody remembers years later. I showed the picture to my mum. "Who's that?" She looked at it for a couple of seconds. "I don't know. Maybe a neighbor? I don't remember anyone like that." And that was the end of it. At least, that's what I thought. About an hour later, I came across another photo. A summer picnic. I was around 6 years old. The same man was standing near a tree in the background. I frowned. Then I found another photo, and another, and another. Within a few minutes, I started feeling genuinely uneasy. He was everywhere. Birthday parties, family dinners, barbecues, school events, my aunt's wedding, my grandfather's funeral. Photos taken more than 20 years apart. Always the same man. The strangest part was that nobody recognized him. I showed the pictures to my mother, my sister, my father, my aunt, my cousins. Nobody could tell me who he was. No one. My mother eventually started getting irritated. "If this person was always around our family, I would remember him." And that was exactly what bothered me. In some of the photos, he was standing only a few feet away from us, sometimes so close that it seemed impossible not to notice him. For the next few weeks, I became obsessed with it. I scanned the photographs, zoomed in on them, organized them by year, and that's when I noticed a pattern. The older I got, the closer this man appeared to be. When I was 2, he was standing on the other side of the room. When I was 6, he was across the yard near a tree. When I was 12, he was already standing among the guests at a family gathering. When I was 18, he was near the crowd at my graduation. When I was 23, he was only a few yards away from me. When I was 27, he was standing almost directly behind me. It was as if he had been slowly closing the distance all those years. I know how insane that sounds. Believe me, I tried to find a logical explanation. But then I noticed something else. These photographs had been taken over a span of more than 20 years. The people around him aged. I grew up. My parents got older. My grandmother went from being energetic and healthy to elderly and frail. But this man never changed. Not at all. In every single photograph, he looked about 40 years old, maybe 45. The same hair, the same face, the same posture. It was as if time simply had no effect on him. After that, I decided to check the old video recordings. My grandmother had kept a box full of VHS tapes. One of them was a recording of my parents' wedding. I borrowed an old VHS player from a friend and watched the tape. And he was there. Not a photograph, not a defect in the tape, not some strange visual artifact. An actual video. He walked among the guests, stood near the tables, occasionally drifted into the frame. At one point, the cameraman accidentally pointed the camera directly at him. The man turned his head, looked straight into the lens, and immediately stepped out of frame, as if he didn't want to be filmed. When I showed the recording to my parents, my father stared at the screen for a long time. Then he said, "He wasn't there." I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. "Dad, he's standing right next to you." My father shook his head. "I've never seen that man in my life." A few months passed. I almost stopped looking for answers. My work started to suffer. I wasn't sleeping well. I kept thinking about those photographs. Eventually, I decided to let it go. If nobody had been able to explain it in over 20 years, I probably wasn't going to either. About 6 months went by. Then one day, my mother sent me a photo. No text, no explanation. Just a picture from my niece's birthday party. The photo had been taken only a week earlier. The whole family was in it. My mother, my sister, her husband, my niece, me. Everyone smiling at the camera. A completely normal family photo. And he was there, standing between 2 trees in the background. The same man. But for the first time, something was different. In every previous photograph, he had been looking somewhere else. At people, at the ground, out a window, anywhere, but never at the camera. In this picture, he was staring directly into the lens. I zoomed in, then again, then again. And that's when I noticed something I had somehow missed before. He was smiling, as if he knew I would eventually find all those photographs, as if he had been waiting for this moment. I showed the picture to my mother. She stared at the screen of my phone for a long time. Then she frowned. "That's strange." "What?" She kept looking at the photo for a few more seconds. Then she looked up at me. "I was sure there were only 5 of us in this picture." After that, she didn't say another word. That's when I realized I'll probably never forget this story, because I still don't know who that man is. And the scariest part isn't even that. The scariest part is that we have another family gathering in 2 weeks. And for the first time in my life, I really don't want to be in any photographs.